Yo, what's up, guys? It's Azure Hacks, and today I'm doing a simple machine called IDE. And let's just get into it. It's easy machine, so I already spawned it, and let's just copy the IP. Let me just ping it to see if it's online. Yes, it's online. So first, I'm just gonna go into a directory that I made for it. So now let's nmap it. So here I use the tags tag C and tag V. So C means for scripts and the V means for versions. So now we got the nmap scan, and looks like there's port 80, port 22, FTP. So first, let's see, we got anonymous, so we can go log in to FTP anonymous. Paste the IP, and I'm just gonna try anonymous, and the password also is anonymous, or you can just leave it blank. And now I'm gonna try to see if there's any directories, and I use tag LA to see if there's any hidden directories, and looks like we have three directories. There's an unusual three dots, so we can look into that. And two dots and one dots are common because two dots means the parent of the directory that we are living in, and the one dot means the directory that we are in right now. So we're gonna try the three dots, and looks like we directory successfully changed. And let's just do LA, and we see that there's a special symbol named as a file. I believe this is actually an image, but yeah. So let's get the image slash file. Let's exit out of FTP, and let's try to cat it normally. And looks like we have no return. So let's use cat back dot and backwards slash, and then the special symbol. The reason we have to do this is because it's a special symbol, and looks like we have to. John Drake said to reset the password as you asked, and default password to login. So there's this this is normal directory, not a website with port 80. It's a normal Ubuntu, but then there's this hidden port, and which is a Kodiak, which is an IDE, I guess. Let's use the default password and John as the letter. So John, and then the default password of Kodiak. It asks us to use default password. So let's search up Kodiak 2.8.4 default password. And we see there's Bitnami. So the default password is Bitnami. So let's type that in. And we see that it's incorrect username or password. So let's just try some default passwords that we know. Maybe like admin. That's also incorrect. So let's try password as a password. And we see that we got in. As I said, Kodiak IDE is kind of like a IDE online. And we also found out the version was just Kodiak 2.84. So now we can just look for exploits. Let's search exploit Kodiak 2.84. Oh, let's search for Kodiak 2.84. And we see that there is four exploits, but I'm choosing the top one, and that's the one that works. So let's just locate it, and we see that's in that directory. So let's just Python 3 run it, and we see that the usage is pretty simple. It's basically URL and port, username, password, and IP, port, and platform. So the IP and port are supposed to be our port that we want the reverse shell to come back. So http / the IP of the bot. And the port 62227. Username is John. Password is password. The IP, you can find out your own IP using ifconfig. It's the tunnel 0. That's if you're connected to the VPN that TryHackMe provides. So 10.4.32.152. And the port is, I use 1234. You can use any port. And the platform I'm using is Linux. And it says please execute the following commands on your VPS. So let's execute it. So we executed that, and it tells us to do another netcat. The reason we need two netcat is because the connection we get back is really poorly on our first netcat. So this basically tells us to execute this command, and you see it's going to port 12345, and that's why we need a netcat for that. So we get a 4TTY connection. And we can just Y, and it's sending the payload. We got the connection from here, and we also got it from there. So let's check. So the first one's not work, but the second one is. That's why we had to send it. So we can just exit that, and we got we got a shell. Let me just export term to xterm, and then I can clear. We can go to home directory and see what users there are. There's drag, so we can let's cd to drag list, and we see the user.txt. Let's cat it, but permission deny. Clear. Hidden direct files. So there's bash history which we can read. So I'm going to cat that bash history. Sometimes there's passwords. And we see there's this MySQL password for drag. So let's try this command out. Copy and then paste. But we see that MySQL is not installed in the box. We can also check this by ss tunnel, and we see that there's no MySQL port, and the default MySQL port is like 3306, I believe. Yeah, that's 3306. So there's no MySQL ports, so that does not work. But we can try this on SSH because SSH is also open, and SSH drag at the IP of the box, which in my case is 10.10.242.106. And the password is the Dracula is real. And the user.txt, that's the user.txt right there. So we can check for privileges that we can run as stuff. And looks like we can restart the FTP service. So there's this fun and easy method you can to get root. So we can first go into the directory of the VS FTP config files, the service config files, and that is uh, lib systemd and system, and we see there's some loads of services here. So we just need to nano vs ftpd conf. No, that's not right. The service, and we see that we find exec start. So this command will execute when the FTP service is restarted and started. So we can just put like a reversal in here. That's what I'm gonna do. You can also like do the bash one, but I like to do this. and we can just search up for the Pentas Monkey reverse shell cheat sheet. I'm gonna do the bash one. I'm pretty sure that's the one that works. And let's copy that and just paste it. Important thing to remember is that always put the put your IP and ports in. I'm gonna use 9001 and the IP is 10.4.32.152. And what we can do is here is just we have to specify the full path of the bash executable, which is bin bash. So then we just save that and we run the command sudo tiger. We run user bin service vsftpd restart. And just start your thing up. Start your netcat listener and just run. And run the sudo tag l command. And it tells us to reload the unit systemctl daemon reload. So let's just try to reload the units by running that. And we need the authentication. So we know the password is the Dracula is real in Leanskeep, I'm pretty sure. And the authentication is complete, but we have no reverse shell. I believe the reason is that because we need to use bin bash tag C. So let's just nano. And at the start of the exec start, let's just put bin bash tag C, which basically execute. Bin bash tag C bin bash. Bin bash tag C, and we have to also put them in basic strings. And save that, and we just have to run the command again. After reload, and the password is the Dracula is real, and paste in the password. Authentication complete, but we still don't have any reverse shell. I believe the issue found out the issue. The issue is that we have to do reload instead of doing the sudo tagl command. So just copy that password and paste in that, and now we do the sudo command, and now we get the root. Yeah, so we need to do the sudo command after we do systemc daemon reload, and we have root shell, so we can just go into the root directory and cat the root.txt and paste it in to the TryHackMe and get your points. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. It was a pretty easy box to polish your animation skills. So it was pretty easy, and yeah, see you next time.